Hi everybody, it is the 14th of May 2022 and we've got some very exciting news about the new Arma game that will be announced on May the 17th next week. Basically, there's been a leak today, and on Reddit someone posted a link to the Arma Reforger marketing and brand guide, a really big PDF, about 80 pages. Now, I'm not going to link to this PDF on this video, and I'm not going to show you what's in this PDF because this is obviously an internal document for Bohemia Interactive. But what I am going to do is go through the information that's in this PDF, which gives us a lot of information about what the new Arma title is going to be all about. So if you want to not have those spoilers and find out on May the 17th, then stop watching this video, and all you're going to see in terms of visuals is what you can see now to this tweet from the new Arma platform Twitter account that just says the future of Arma. So as I say, so this was a big PDF, and on the front of it says Arma Reforger, so confirmed that's the name for the game that's coming out, and it's the marketing and brand game that was published on the 4th of April 2022. And what I've done is I've pulled out a few of the pages, and I'm just going to kind of describe them to you. So first off, probably the most important one, there's a page entitled Announcement Template, and it says Arma Reforger out now, and on that page is a Steam icon, so confirming it's coming out on PC, and an Xbox icon, so we can confirm that the next Arma title will be coming out on PC and Xbox. However, don't worry, PlayStation users, in a little bit it will also come across something that says they're planning to release on PlayStation 2, so should be coming out on PlayStation 2, not on launch, but it will be coming out. Right, let's crack on and look at some other details as well. So I'm now looking at a banner for Bohemia, the Bohemia website, that will probably appear on May the 17th, and it says Arma Reforger. Arma Reforger is a multi-platform sneak peek of Arma 4 and of our Enfusion technology. So there we go. So just a confirmation that there will be an Arma 4. It is in the pipeline. It is being developed. But Arma Reforger is a small snippet of that they're obviously releasing, I think, pretty quick. I think it's going to come out in either on May the 17th or May the 18th or a few days after. And although this could be seen as a demo, it will be a paid product, as we'll find out too. However, fingers crossed, you never know, it may well be on Xbox Game Pass. And if it's on, it may be on Xbox Game Pass for PC as well, though I don't think it will be. I think it'll be on Xbox console, so it could be on Game Pass, so it could be free day and date. But I think on PC it won't be on Xbox Game Pass. It will be on Steam. Moving on. Right, so design inspirations, and on this page we've got some pictures from looks like parts of Central or Eastern Europe, and it says design inspirations inspired by the Cold War era, revisiting Arma's original setting set in 1989. So this is set at the end of the Cold War, and Arma, the original Arma, which I think is called Cold War Assault, is it? Or something like that. Again, that was set on the island that we'll talk about in a second. So, now we're on a page that says Situation. The Arma community is eagerly anticipating the announcement of Arma 4 and is aware that it will be made using Bohemia's new Enfusion engine. This will be the first time that an Arma game is built on entirely new technology. Due to the challenges in switching to our new Enfusion technology, as well as internal and external goals for the product, Bohemia will not be able to deliver the full scope of Arma 4, with all of its planned assets and mechanics immediately on release. Therefore, the plan is to release a more focused title first, a showcase for Arma 4, and a platform for community feedback. This is Arma Reforger. So there we go, there's the answer. Arma 4's on the way. It's not all ready yet, but they wanted to get a product out there, almost like a beta, almost like an early access, I guess, and they've chosen to give us this island, released on Xbox, released on PC, where we can play it, we can play test it, and then we can give that feedback back to Bohemia Interactive. Because remember, this is going to be a highly anticipated product on the PC side and on the console side. and they're going to sell millions of copies of this, and you can't play test for millions of things. I also want to mention at this point, I want everybody to manage your expectations about what Arma is if you haven't played Arma before. Arma is not Call of Duty, Arma is not Battlefield, Arma is not Hell Let Loose, Arma is not Squad. Arma is a tactical shooter that is probably on the furthest simulation side of any video game that you'll ever come across. Hence, it's very difficult to get into and quite challenging to learn. The learning curve, even just for the controls, is really steep. So if you've played DayZ, remember back to how it first felt when you first started playing DayZ and how difficult it was and how frustrating it was when you first played. That is what it's like when you start playing Arma. Here we go. So now we've got another page. The purpose of Arma Reforger is to introduce Arma to a new console-oriented audience. There you go. Establish new operational processes, pipelines and communications with our players. Test new technology and design decisions to form the foundation for Arma 4. Invite the community to share feedback on the Enfusion-powered game mechanics while providing a platform to learn the new modding tools. Rebrand our social media, engaging a wider audience and establishing continuity in our communications. Secure an additional revenue stream to help fund future Arma development. So there we go. So Enfusion, this is the new engine that DayZ's been running on. Well, a kind of hybrid version of Enfusion. DayZ's been running on it for the last few years. And they're saying, look, this is a massive jump for us. We need to get a product out there so people can start learning how to mod with this, because this will be a different modding set of tools from previously, different hooks and different bits to get into the engine. And we want to get this out there, and we're really going to streamline everything before Arma 4, because let's say Arma 4 comes out next year. I mean, Arma 3 came out almost 10 years ago. So Arma 4 is going to be around for a long time as well. And they said, look, we want to get this right. So let's get Reforger out there. The situation, another situation page. Arma Reforger will have a very strong multiplayer focus, but promises a degree of longevity with its game master, scenario editor and dedicated modding support, including its own workshop. So there will be a Steam workshop. Well, it doesn't say Steam. There will be a workshop. So that could either mean there's a Steam one, or maybe there's an in-gamer workshop, which would mean that console players would have access to it. The game's master scenario editor. Now, hopefully this will be like the Eden editor within Arma 3, but perhaps by the fact that they called it a games master scenario editor, that kind of gives me the idea that this might be a bit easier to use, especially for console. Contrary to prior installments in the franchise, future Arma releases will be multi-platform titles. Arma Reforger is expected to launch on PC and Xbox. Now, this is the interesting bit. They say One and Series X and PlayStation 4 and 5 in the future. Now, that's quite a strong statement to say that it's releasing on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I can't see that happening. I think that must be a mistake. I think it's going to be coming out on PC, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 in the future. But not PlayStation at launch. Arma Reforger will be a premium product with stable and appropriate pricing. So that tends to indicate, to buy it, it's going to be like a 50 quid title probably. There should be some basic in-game monetization in the future, but no DLCs or microtransactions are currently planned. Product is on the next page. Arma Reforger delivers a polished sample of Arma 4 gameplay built upon our brand new Enfusion technology and serves as a community foundation release for Enfusion-powered Arma. The game provides tactical depth and yet remains accessible to a broad audience, including console users. Now, that's a very strong sentence there, because normal Arma 3 I don't think is very accessible at all, even to PC users. So maybe they've simplified a lot of the controls. It also supports user modification for custom scenarios. Set in an alternative 1989, players will develop a persistent military career and join either US or Soviet forces in a fierce battle for the strategic island of Everon. So that's what we're going to be fighting on. Genre. So it's a military simulation game as opposed to a simulator. Tactical military shooter. It's a military sandbox. But maybe we'll see that Arma Reforger and Arma 4, they're not going to be as hardcore as Arma 3 and Arma 2. So what are the product goals for Arma Reforger? To raise awareness of the Arma brand, and specifically Arma Reforger among the target groups and for our wider audience. So I think Bohemia Interactive have seen the amazing success of the likes of Vigor on console and DayZ on console, and they said, look, if you ask the average console player about Arma, they'll go, what's Arma? They won't know what it is. By getting Arma Reforger out there, they can start getting people thinking about Arma, getting into the Arma ecosystem, and really thinking about buying Arma 4 when it comes out. Because as they go into create purchase intent for Arma Reforger among the target groups. Develop a positive attitude towards Arma Reforger and how it relates to Arma 4 among the target groups and our wider audience. So, product objectives again. So they want to manage expectations regarding Arma Reforger and its aims, as well as the extent of its post-release support. So, don't expect too much from Arma Reforger. It's just a taste of Arma 4. Launch Arma on a new platform and share its unique gameplay mechanics and milsim focus with an audience of console gamers, really specific there, going after the console market. There's a lot of money on the table, but we understand that Arma cannot be completely Arma when it comes to console. We do have to change some things. Introduce the Enfusion and involve the modding community to its possibilities. Again, modding is the life of Arma. So they're saying, let's give them it, let's start them playing with it now so they'll be ready when Arma 4 comes. Successfully rebranding of social media channels and deploying on both Instagram and TikTok. So they're expanding their social media presence. Net increase in subscribers, followers and participants across all Bohemia and Arma channels. Popular coverage of Arma Reforger via the media and community influencers and streamers. Develop well-established and continuous streams with an eye towards growing a dedicated viewer base. Establish an enthusiastic and professional relationship with key figures in the Arma community. Present Bohemia Interactive as a great place to work. So, remember, this is an inside document. It's kind of referring to all these things. So now we've got some more key features of what the gameplay will be like in Arma Reforger. 1980s Cold War setting. It's on Everon, which is a mid-Atlantic island spanning 52 square kilometres. Multiplayer game modes featuring competitive and cooperative gameplay. It's conflict, large-scale warfare showcasing infantry combat. So I guess that's the game mode, conflict. 3 factions, so probably the Russians, the Americans and the civilians. 6 vehicles with 18 variants. 15 weapons, 2 types of grenades and 13 dedicated combat rounds. So not hundreds and hundreds. Battlefield communication and logistics. Game Master Scenario Editor, Multi-Platform Workshop, and full modding support. So there we go. So Multi-Platform Workshop. So we are getting mods on console and full modding support. Fantastic. Persistent player profiles. Narrative context. Welcome to Everon. Part of the Malden Islands archipelago, this geostrategic nation is famed for its austere and rural beauty. Surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean and buffeted by relentless westerly winds, it is a hardy land of fishermen and farmers quietly pursuing a socialist ideal. To the north, pastures of pine forests recede toward the sea, while to the south, sublime mountains rise from granite bedrock and loom ominously over coastal fogs. Though scarred by the scourge of war and rattled by news of another, everyone longs for peace and freedom from foreign powers. Then there's some pictures of Everon. Looks a bit like Cherners, to be honest. Features of Everon. It's 51 square kilometres. It's one of the larger islands in the archipelago. A former French colony, it became independent in 1965. Owing to its colourful bipartisan history and the direct actions of Louis the Just of France, who welcomed Bohemian settlers in the early 17th century. It is now a Czech-speaking microstate with a flourishing Franco-Bohemian culture. I guess we're going to see lots of Czech Republic buildings, aren't we? Known throughout the world for its superior timber, quality tonewood and wooden products, Everon is also an important stopover for transatlantic trade. The capital, Saint-Philippe, and its sister town Saint-Pierre are both home to major ports handling thousands of tons of maritime freight every year. Then there's stuff about their national flag and their national anthem, and then there's some pictures of Arma merchandise, t-shirts, mugs. Looks like a helmet as well. And there's some photographic post-processing. Now, I'd imagine over the next few days we're going to see a lot more of this coming out. But I think we've picked out some really important key features of Arma Reforger, and especially what this means for Arma 4 and what it really means for console users. So what we now know is that it will be coming out on Xbox and PC on release. So it's going to be on console release, PlayStation a little bit later. There will be a scenario editor in it, and there will be a multi-platform workshop and full modding support. So that tends to say to me that the workshop is going to be part of the game, part of the launcher probably, and therefore we will be able to have mods on console. So that's absolutely fantastic. And of course this is also telling us, I guess the other key thing is, this is not Arma 4, it's going to be a taste of Arma 4, and we are going to have to pay for it unless they put it on Game Pass. But this is the tool that Bohemia Interactive to introduce millions of players who aren't familiar with Arma on consoles to the franchise, getting them ready for Arma 4. So there we go. We're going to hear everything on May the 17th, but hopefully this video has been useful. What do you think? Put your questions and comments down below. And of course, I'll see you again soon.